Welcome back to the show. Let's go to line number 6. Robert, you're on the air.
Good morning, Patty. Hope you're well.
I'm doing fine. How about you?
I'm good. I just wanted to talk about EVREC's environmental registration document a little bit.
Sure.
So apparently the data, or I guess basically what it says from the government is that the paper it was written on wasn't worth anything, in my opinion. So they have to resubmit everything in fine detail. And with the case of EVREC, I don't believe that they have the funding and even go through with the 2 years required of background studies. So I'm doing a little happy dance because I feel like this is just a project that's dead in the water at this point, but I'm trying not to celebrate too much.
Well, I mean, even if you just look at, regardless of all the details in the report, just the news release portion really feels like details were scanty, to say the least. I mean, the laundry list of things that they have to address here in the upcoming assessment is everything, like absolutely everything. So it's pretty much, I mean, I don't know if the project is dead in the water or if they have any money or access to capital, but being sent back to the drafting board on every single item that I can think of is something.
Well, and that's what I've been saying from the start, is that these individuals, to me, are completely unqualified to even be here in the first place. And this just reinstates that feeling and thoughts that I had, is that all the information they provided is basically, like I said, is not worth the paper it's written on. And another interesting thing is that even since Monday, since the release was issued, there's been zero updates from EVREC in the media or public at all. So, like, are they just trying to sulk away now and trying to keep their reputation for their projects they're developing in the other countries? Because, like, we know from the information they provided in their environmental assessment document, they were using EVREC position here of obtaining the land to obtain positions or obtain projects in Sri Lanka as well as the Maldives. And then they turned around and said that because they have these projects in the Maldives and Sri Lanka, then they are qualified to be here in exploit. So it's kind of like the chicken and egg situation, or a fake it until you make it situation. So I'm quite confident in saying that these individuals are vastly underqualified right from the start, which is, again, an example of the assessment process that I criticized from the beginning. So if this company doesn't even have the financial capability or access to the market to develop their environmental impact statement, which is my personal belief, again, I'll just say that clearly, how'd they even get through the qualification process showing that they had access to this capital and market?
Yeah, I mean, the concept of, slinking away with the tail between their legs, protecting their credibility and stuff, that's not a real thing anymore. It really, truly isn't. It's a small world. People can talk about a project in Nova Scotia, Newfoundland and Labrador, the Maldives, or wherever. For any organization, any lenders in particular, not necessarily governments, because governments sometimes are a bit daft on this front, but lenders, they absolutely know who the corporate applicants are. They don't give money willy-nilly for the most part. There's lots of poor banking practices going on, but I didn't mean to say that. But the lenders, they're the tricky piece, right? They will absolutely have a firm understanding of your track record as a company, successes, failures, payment schemes, all of these things. So I don't think anyone gets to slink away anymore.
No, and well, I mean, sometimes the governments will just turn a blind eye. And like I've raised to you before, the concerns about the human rights investigations in cases of their former operations in other countries. So, like I said, I'm trying to be positive but not get too overconfident. But I feel very strongly that we don't really have to worry about these individuals because they don't have public support. And another thing that I have learned recently is that during the EA review process, EVREC has actually reached out to several municipalities requesting updated letters of support because, as I've stated previously, those are outdated based on the information from February 2023, which is 50% less turbines, smaller areas, blah, 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 blah. So now the letters of support, they basically are acknowledging that they're not adequate. But fortunately, a lot of the municipalities have caught up to speed on what's going on, and they're refusing to issue those letters of support until a firm benefits agreement for the municipalities is in place. So I just want to give a little shout out to the municipal leaders that didn't just bend over backwards and issue new letters of support. Great job.
Fair enough. Robert, anything else this morning?
Well, I think the whole Churchill Falls agreement thing is a very big topic of discussion today, it seems like. So I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out tomorrow. But I think the overwhelming consensus is that a lot of people don't really have a lot of faith in our leaders in order to get the best situation for our residents. So, and it doesn't matter what political party it is, because people are just seem to be sick of the Liberals versus PC situation, and they just want some people to stand up for the residents themselves and not bend over backwards to their political supporters. So I think that's a great indication. So looking forward to tomorrow and what happens.
Yeah, their supporter kind of look. I get that. I mean, that's why democratic reform, campaign finance reform is important. But on this front, there is no back to scratch necessarily, because all the players are still all the players, regardless if there's a renegotiated deal or not. There's no new entrant that's going to have some sort of influence about revenues coming from the Upper Churchill. It's straight up for utilities. So I get where you're coming from, but I'm not so sure who stands to benefit other than the utilities. And if our utility benefits more than we have in the past, it's probably a good thing. But you can't prejudge something of which we have no earthly idea what they've landed on and what's included or what's excluded. So I'm going to wait to hear what the announcement looks like, and then I'm going to do my level best to digest it and compare it with the actual facts versus the political leanings, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. Exactly. And just to say one thing, so right now is basically they're trying to see how high they can pick the bar up off the ground, because with the lopsided deal, it's so poor for Newfoundland over the last how many years. They don't have the raise the bar very high to make it look good for themselves. So hopefully they can put it up pretty high for us.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm anxiously awaiting it, I have to say.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, and I hope you have a great day, Patty.
The very
Happy holidays.
Same to you, Robert. Bye-bye.